Hi guys, welcome you back to my channel Exploring MS. I am Nilima and in today's video I am taking you to visit my neurologist at AIIMS from Noida. AIIMS is like about an hour or more, and this time I had hired a driver because my family was with me. So this driver was driving my own car, and it took me almost more than an hour. We entered from gate number 6. Usually I take gate number 1. So this is when I realized that AIIMS was really huge. I mean, I knew that AIIMS is really big, but this time, because I entered from a different gate, it took us a lot of time to just figure out where the OPD was. What you see there is that electric e-rickshaw type, what you can say. This is what you get all over AIIMS. They will just be transferring people from here to there because AIIMS is very big, right? And finally, I reached the OPD. That's the outside crowd. Inside crowd, I did not create a video. I went to visit Dr. Bhatia on Tuesday, and finally this time I had taken an appointment, which meant that he had my file. So what happens is, if whenever I used to go as an ad hoc basis, then my file would not be there with him, right? So he would just accommodate me in between the appointments that he already had. So this time, because I had taken an appointment, and so he had taken out my file also. So I had requested that if he could meet me a little early, because I had to go somewhere, and thankfully he accommodated that request, and I did not have to wait for a very long time, thankfully, because whenever I go to AIIMS, I have to wait to meet him for at least 2-3 hours or even more. Sometimes I've waited for like even 5 hours, right? But this time, because I had requested him in advance, so the moment he saw my face, he called me, and then I could meet him. And now he had my file, so which meant that he could write whatever he was suggesting me and all. And I was telling him that this year it has been 10 years of me going to AIIMS. I was diagnosed in 2015, right? And this is 2025, so it has exactly been 10 years now. And so there was another doctor inside his chamber, so he asked that doctor to go ahead and check the entire whatever they need to check. So they did all the tests, like they do a lot of those checks, right? That they'll ask me to walk, and they'll just tap somewhere, like they'll just tell me that, okay, you just touch your nose and do this kind of thing. And then he says, okay, watch my finger, like without turning your head, and all those kind of things. So that kind of analysis. And it took like maybe almost 15 minutes, I guess, to do all of this. And eventually they said that I'm fine. So clinically, of course, I was stable, and whatever he he did to check the test, that also he said that it was okay. And a few other things that he suggested was that I have to make sure that I take vitamin D, and which I told him that sometimes I forget to take, and all right. So he told me that, do you do sunbathing? I said no. Then he's like, then you have to take it. I said okay, so I'll do that. And now he has asked to he has asked me to visit him in November, around last week of November, because the rituximab dose that I took was in January this year. And usually I take my dose in a gap of like 11 months, 10-11 months more or less. So he told me to meet him in November. So I think I'm gonna take another appointment beforehand. So I will not go without appointment, no ad hoc basis. I will just take an appointment, at least this is August, right? So 3 months in advance, I should be getting an appointment, and he has given me a lot of tests that I have to do before, when before I go to meeting. One is, of course, CD1920, which decides that I require rituximab or not. That's one thing. And then he told me, like, LFT, KFT, CBC. So those tests I had already done this time also before meeting him, and even those were normal as what he suggested. And I was scared about that ESR something, that was high, right? So he said that's nothing. There's nothing to worry about it. So more or less what he suggested is that the test that I had done, the report was normal, and now I will have to go back doing all these tests and the MRI. So the plain brain MRI that he suggested, that also I have to do, and the MRI also I do it once a year. So initially I used to do it, like, sometimes even in 3 months, and then it happened in 6 months, and now I do it once a year before I take my rituximab dose. So eventually all of those have come out. It has I mean, I won't have to do it so frequently, right, because the condition is now pretty stable. And then I told him, like, doctor, I feel like quite fatigued and all. And he was like, I don't want to treat you if it is not chronic. Do you feel it all the time? I said, not all the time, but sometimes. So he's like, that happens to everybody. So, he just like, that's okay. So he was like, that's normal. If I don't feel it consistently, then there's no need to just give me some medicine. That's something that he ruled out. So I was okay with it, right? There's no point in taking medicines unnecessary, right? And being a doctor, he knows it best. Okay. And yes, it was very fruitful session. And just to let all of you know, AIIMS is also starting, I think, yoga therapy. So after meeting the doctor, I had to meet other doctors also, right? So that there was another person there who suggested that they are bringing this session of yoga therapy for people who are suffering from MS to fight fatigue and all. So she was asking me if I wanted to be enrolled in it. Um, it was nice. I mean, it's a good thing, but I backed out. I really didn't want to go ahead and enroll myself because I can't go to AIIMS first. Second, I live in Noida and AIIMS is in Delhi, and Delhi is very far from my place, and AIIMS in itself is a task, right? So I said I don't think I can do it because I do yoga myself also, right? So there's no point in going that far. But if any one of you you are interested, you can, I guess, check with them and enroll for that yoga therapy. I'm sure that's gonna be fruitful. So yeah, that was it. And he gave me those slips where I can go ahead and do those blood tests and all, which I've taken it, but I think I'm just gonna do it from locally only, right? Because again, just for blood tests, going to AIIMS all the way from here, it's like not very feasible for me. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm okay, I'm absolutely fine for now. And he said, like, just come to meet me in November. So that's what I'm going to do. I will do all the tests that he has suggested and then go ahead and meet him in November. I think, yes, that's one task done, and I'm happy about it that I did take an appointment and met him because, he did give me a lot of time. I was not just an ad hoc this time. So anybody who goes to AIIMS for follow-up treatment, I think I would like to tell you that I hear you, and I understand that it's difficult to go to AIIMS, and sometimes we feel really lazy, right, going to AIIMS. It's a big task, but I think you should go ahead and meet your doctor whenever it is required, because I think it's just once in 6 to 9 months, and that should absolutely be doable, like I did, right? And I'm feeling like really good about it. It's like a pat on my back. Going to AIIMS is like a small win that I would consider it to be, because I think a lot before going to AIIMS, because it's tiring and it's tedious, right? And honestly, I didn't drive. In fact, I hired a driver to drive my own car and take us, because the parking of AIIMS is like, and the OPD is like, there's a distance is of 1 kilometer. So you have to park the car in the basement and walk for 1 kilometer, even though there is those, cart, I guess it's available, but then, it's tedious, right? You don't feel like doing that. So I never drive to AIIMS nowadays. I just usually take a taxi. But this time I thought, since my family was also here, I thought that, let me hire a driver instead, and we could go in my own car, so that we could be mobile. Like, you want to go somewhere else. That's what I did, and it was a fruitful day, and I felt like a tiny little win, me visiting AIIMS and completing my follow-up. So these neuro follow-ups is also, I would consider, definitely a win. I hope that you think about it the same way. I think this video will, motivate you to go ahead and meet your doctor, even if it is at AIIMS. It is needed, right? You need to do what you need to do. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, and lastly, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.